Happy morning, everybody. And for my session today, actually, I have been allocated about 35 minutes to share with you the A to Z of Speechcraft. And then we would have a short breakout session where some of you can deliberate, brainstorm, or just go through some of the challenges. Because as I register for this workshop, I noticed there are a few questions posed by the organizer, like, do you plan to do a Speechcraft or YLP? If you do, when do you plan to do it? And also, what are the challenges that you are currently facing? There are a few questions. And I noticed just now from the morning, from the few questions in the chat room, I think those are very good questions. I hope if it's answered as I go along in this A to Z of Speechcraft, take notes. And of course, I would appreciate any feedback at the end of it, at the end of the breakout session. So let's move along this morning. Wrong side, this way. Yeah. Okay, just a quick brief introduction. Some of you, as I look through the room, may already know me because we are friends from quite a long time ago. As mentioned, I've been a Toastmaster since 2004. So some of the other information about me that's not shared is that if you see my WhatsApp or even on my social media, I do not have hair. That's because I've shaved 7 times for Botak Shel. And besides the fact that I'm a Toastmaster, I'm also a scuba diver, I'm a runner, I am an entrepreneur as well as a working mom. And those are my credentials in Toastmasters in terms of my leadership as well as membership. And I'm a contest junkie. What do I mean by contest junkie? Not just Toastmaster contests, actually. I do participate in a lot of contests, other contests and online contests. And to be honest, I've even won Petronas vouchers like several times, big hampers. So what I want to say is that since most of you are here today, you are here with the aim of starting or doing a Speechcraft. Think of it as a self-contest. Think of it as something that you want to accomplish, whether you are, I think there was a question, you're a coordinator, like can a level 1 be a coordinator? So I will debunk some of these terminologies like coordinator, facilitator, presenters, and so on. And similarly with Joanne, I'm also in the healthcare industry. I'm actually a medical salesperson, and I've also dabbled in other types of healthcare in terms of financial healthcare and social mental healthcare as well. So let's move along to the main part. So digital Speechcraft, I believe this has only started sometime last term on digital Speechcraft. So there was 2 occasions where we have done Speechcraft digitally. Number 1, it was done in one of my clubs, Summit Toastmaster. At that time, our coordinator is the immediate past president, Hazel Yap. She's now IP level 4. So this was conducted on the 24th to the 25th of April in 2021. However, at that time, TI has not launched the digital Speechcraft. So at that time, we actually bought the physical Speechcraft manuals, yeah, because the digital Speechcraft has not been ready yet. And then the other club, School of Hard Knocks, actually conducted a digital Speechcraft using the digital bundle on the 16th and 17th of April 2022. Fortunately, at that time, as we all know, Joanne also mentioned the TI website is down, you cannot purchase. At that time, there was that small gap, and then we were able to get the bundle, right, at that time. So just another disclaimer as well, all this sharing is personal sharing from my experience with the clubs that I'm in, also with the various experiences that I have either to assist or to become a presenter at a Speechcraft. So I was a coordinator for 2 Speechcraft in my entire Toastmaster career. However, I was mostly in the back end, either as a facilitator or a presenter. So the good experience which we had was Summit Toastmasters Club and also School of Hard Knocks. 2 experiences using a digital platform, however, using different Speechcraft material. The first in Summit was the legacy, and then the second one was the digital bundle. Okay, so what I'm going to cover in the next, I believe we've got 30 more minutes, is these 5 areas: purpose of Speechcraft, your preparation and planning, the coordination, the execution, and the feedback and improvement stage. So very easy, just 5 areas, and I have 30 minutes to cover all this. Okay, so if you have any questions at all as we go along, yes, put it into the chat room, and I'm sure the question master is ready for you. Okay, I've lumped this together: purpose, planning, and preparation. On the right-hand side is an example of a poster that we shared through WhatsApp. So I will share both experiences with Summit and School of Hard Knocks, what happened in the purpose, planning, and preparation stage. So I want to pose this question to all of you who are planning a Speechcraft. I know earlier on there was a lot of question on, hey, how much can I charge? Is it 90 USD? Is it, or can I charge less? And then there are questions like, do we automatically admit them, and so on and so forth. So, you have to ask yourself when you want to do a Speechcraft, what is the main purpose of doing a Speechcraft? Is it for someone to get their DTM? Okay, it's a very valid question. Yeah, it's very, very valid. Is it for someone to get their DTM? Okay, it's a very valid question, and it's a true question. Why should we do Speechcraft? It's because maybe someone wants the credit towards their DTM. Okay, or is it to gain new members? Okay, is it for you to market your club to gain new members? Or is it to get a source of income or to finance some of your Toastmaster activity? Because there was a lot of question, how much can we charge? Do we automatically admit them? Or, contra and so on and so forth, and then there was a question whether, or is this against the Toastmaster, rules and regulation and so on. So what is the main purpose of Speechcraft? Once you are clear with the main purpose, then it will drive you in the preparation for your Speechcraft. So to be honest, for both Summit and School of Hard Knocks Toastmasters Club, one of the main purpose at the time when we organized the Speechcraft was not to make money, okay? Was not to make money, but to get new members, to bring in new members to the clubs. So that was the main purpose. Then secondly, the question is, when you want to attract new members, who are your target audience? Okay, as we know, Speechcraft are meant for adults, so people who are able to come in and join as a Toastmaster member. So there's a certain age limit, right? So this is not the youth leadership, this is Speechcraft. So we're talking about 18 years and above. So who are your target audience? Are they people of community, general community? Maybe if you're attracting new members to a certain location that you're at, so your target audience would be people who are commuting in that area, working in that area, living in that area, so on and so forth. So who are your target audience? So those questions you must answer. And the third question is, what would be the price offer? What is the value that you want to bring forth to the attendees? Now, Joanne has mentioned in her session just now, she even gave you, what are the modules available to cover. And then she said Speechcraft can be split to 4, 6, 8 sessions, or over a period of 2 to 3 days, right? Can be very compact. Now, the value that Speechcraft offers to someone is, of course, the value of learning skills in public speaking. Some of these modules that we cover in Speechcraft actually overlaps with some requirements in pathways, which is why there is an opportunity to transfer credit for a member or for someone who has joined a Speechcraft. So we'll call them Speechcrafters or Speechcraft participant. So you can transfer the credit of what they did during the Speechcraft session and allow that credit to be accepted in the pathways. Okay. And of course, I would give you some other scenarios and suggestion on something that a Speechcraft participant could do once they are admitted into your club. Okay, so the word I use here is admitted into your club. Okay, it's not an automatic admission, it's admitted into your club by virtue of your own club bylaws and so on and so forth. The fourth question I want to ask is, what is your desired duration of your Speechcraft? Would you want to do it over 2 days from 8:30 to 5:30? Okay, note the time, 8:30 to 5:30. Or do you want to break it out into smaller sessions of 2 to 3 hours each? Okay, smaller sessions of 2 to 3 hours each. The reason why I say 2 to 3 hours, because I've seen several versions of agenda, and I've seen that if it's too short, the learning experience as well as the take-home message from each of the session is not adequate. So minimum 2 hours for each session, if possible, if you can do it over 3 hours, is even better. And then what are the breakout sessions that you need to do and plan? And when we say breakout sessions, this include like preparation time, and so on. Of course, then the next thing is, okay, you are ready, you know what price you want to charge, you know where you want to do it. And I didn't mention here is, you know, where you want to do it, digitally in front of the camera or physically. Even though it's a digital bundle now, right, you can still organize it physically, even though it's a digital bundle. So you need to market the event. What would you do to market the event? Okay, so many questions, right? Are you going to use Facebook or Meta? Are you going to use Instagram? Are you going to do WhatsApp, Telegram, word to word or mouth to mouth marketing? You know, are you going to spam people that you know in a certain company, and so on and so forth? So you need to have a clear idea. You need to prepare to market the event, right? And then after that, that's where the hard work comes in. You need to find your presenters, okay? So I'm going to use the word presenters because I think there was one question, like somebody asked, what are the credentials for someone who is presenting certain modules? For example, let's use the module of icebreaker. Now, if a Speechcraft participant is coming for Speechcraft, they don't know what icebreaker is, right? But we all know what icebreaker is. So we need someone to come in to teach this Speechcraft participant what is icebreaker, what is required for them to prepare for the icebreaker speech. So these people who comes in, we normally call them the presenter. So who are the presenters? This is where the question is. The presenters can be anyone in Toastmasters of good standing, right? They are just the presenters. They are not the Speechcraft coordinator. There is only one Speechcraft coordinator in a bundle of 5 participants, okay? Only one coordinator. The coordinator would be part of the brainstorm or part of the people who prepare all these questions, purpose, target audience, marketing, and so on. So the coordinator has a lot of work to do. Who are the facilitators? So what do we mean by facilitators? Now, when you have a presenter, he or she may not be part of your club, okay? Like we had presenters who are not part of Summit Toastmasters when we did it. We have presenters who are not part of School of Hard Knocks when we did it, but they came in to present on the topic, okay? They are not awarded the Speechcraft credit, but they came in to help as a presenter. And then we had facilitators, people who were there to facilitate or to guide the Speechcraft participant in preparing their speech. Okay, so we call them facilitators. And then we also have role players. Who are role players? Role players are someone like, let's say your TMD Ellen, they're someone who starts off the meeting, or even they are like your timer Tinisa. So they are there to make sure that, hey, we need to be on time. Okay, we need to follow the agenda. We need to be on time. Or if you're doing it digitally, you may even want to assign a Zoom master. They are the people who would spotlight the speakers. They are the people who would mute everyone down if it's too noisy in the back end. They are the people who would push everyone into the breakout room when you do breakout session. So you can see that there's a lot of preparation. And of course, earlier on at that time, in terms of purpose planning preparation also, there were the hard copy versions, like if you were on Legacy Speechcraft. And there was also a soft copy version, like for example, you know, right now, the online store is down, right? But you need to find all this information to prepare ahead of time. So those were the questions that came into mind. So then in the chat room, I'm just going to answer one of the questions in the chat room where somebody said, can this Speechcraft be used as part of the, I think, level 5 pathway, something project? I would say if you are going to address all these questions as a coordinator in preparation for your Speechcraft, right, you would need at least 3 months or more to prepare all this. It's not something that today Joanne said, okay, let's do a Speechcraft. And then tomorrow Ellen and myself say, okay, let's do a Speechcraft. You know, tomorrow the flyer will be out and ready. It's not so simple. So there are a lot of planning ahead in time. And this particular project of Speechcraft, to organize a Speechcraft, to be a Speechcraft coordinator or chair, in this case in your own club, is a great experience. Yeah, it's a great experience. So purpose planning preparation, these are the questions I would pose. If at all, you can take a picture of this, but don't worry, this particular PowerPoint will be shared. You need to go through with your club Why are we doing Speechcraft? What is the main purpose? Who are your target audience? Is this physical? Is it digital? What type of price offer, value, you know, your duration, your agenda, and so on and so forth. These are the questions that you must answer. Okay, so that's purpose, planning, and preparation. And then I'm going to share ahead. So these are some of the things so this is a School of Hard Knocks marketing material at that time. This was something from Summit. This is a picture of me from, Mingzi would remember, I think. This is a picture of me from probably 2011. So yeah, we posted it. And actually this particular post in Summit Toastmasters Club had one of the biggest engagement. Okay, if in case you didn't see, there was a very pregnant me at that time. It had a lot of engagement. So, you know, you never know what type of pictures that you post that could generate engagement. Okay, and of course, these are some example of post workshop or Speechcraft workshop. So these are participants of the Summit Speechcraft workshop, of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them joined as Toastmaster member, were admitted into Toastmaster member. So we move on to the second phase. You've got your preparation. You know, you already discussed with your team. You already have an idea. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to plan? The coordination and the execution. Okay, so there would be a lot of questions. There will be a lot of preparation to coordinate and execute. Now, communication with participants. For both our Summit and School of Hard Knocks, we of course found at that time the communication method were using WhatsApp most of the time, and also active calls. So we were communicating through WhatsApp. We were calling them to make sure, okay, have you got the hard copy of the legacy Speechcraft? So just to share, when we had it in Summit at that time, we had, I believe, one member who was in Johor Bahru. Yeah, Johor Bahru or like Singapore, and then his weekend home is Johor Bahru or something like that. So we had to make sure that the book arrived to him in Johor Bahru, right? Yeah, so there was a lot of calling and, hey, you get the book already, you get the book already, because we were still using the legacy Speechcraft manual. When we moved on to the digital bundle, it was easier. You know, we just need to make sure that are they able to log in and so on. And also we were able to share certain slides that the presenter had given to assist the participants. And other communication was to make sure that, hey, come on time. You know, when we say 8:30, the room is open, please come in at 8:30. So for the facilitators, for the presenters, we actually came in much earlier, like 8 a.m. or even 7:30, to make sure that we are ready on the Zoom. And of course, your next question is your platform. Are you going to do it digitally? Is it Zoom? Is it Teams? Or is it a physical event? So all these comes into consideration, like it will add to your cost. Because if you're going to do Zoom, you know, the free Zoom account has a limitation of time and so on. So you need to go and find someone within, say, the district or your area or so on, who can allow you to use their Zoom account for an entire day or 2 days, right? I think that is easier now because the district has Zoom accounts. So way back then, it's like you have to find out who has a Zoom account. Can we pay you back for the Zoom account and things like that? So those are costs as well. And of course, if you're going to do it physically, there is the cost of the venue, there's cost of the parking maybe, there's cost of the refreshments, yeah? So those are the things. And then in part of the coordination and execution is, how do you select your presenters? Now, in my humble opinion, I think that the presenters should have some kind of credentials, people that you know, either personally, or I believe Joanne and her team are trying to assemble a list of potential presenters and facilitators that can help the clubs. So these people come with some form of experience. They are not like fresh, completely fresh Toastmasters. They could have some years of experience as a trainer, a presenter. So they have the knowledge to be able to present the topic for the Speechcraft participants. Okay, so these are the things you have to consider. Like maybe if you're getting someone to come in to talk about vocal variety, okay, you cannot have someone who come in and talk with a very flat voice. Okay, you need to get a presenter that has the ability to present the topic and to give the examples or the illustration or, all the necessary skill set to explain that particular module. So criteria of selecting the presenters, okay, those are again things you have to consider. And if there is some kind of platform where we have a database of known and willing Toastmaster who can contribute their time, you see, this presenter don't have to be there for 2 full days. They come in for their slot, they present, they answer whatever question that needs to be answered, they may assist in the evaluation, and then they go out. So you engage them for 2 to 3 hours of their time for that particular module, right? So those are some things. And also, for me personally, I feel that, you see, in every club, you may have a certain style, a certain vibe, a certain environment. So you may want to select a presenter that can match with the environment that you would like to portray. Because at the end of the day, I think there was a question posed. You have to take action. You have to ask the participant, would you like to join our club? Would you want to be a Toastmasters and continue to polish your skill as a presenter, right? Those are the things. And then the next thing that I thought is very, very beneficial, involving your club member. So this project, right, for Speechcraft, to me, I feel it's not a one-man show. It is a multi-man show or woman show. It involves the challenges of the coordinator. You really learn how to look at the big picture. You really learn how to manage these people, in terms of your preparation, in terms of your presenter, in terms of your participant, okay? You also manage how to motivate and persuade your club member to help you during the Speechcraft. If you are just alone, it's going to be an enormous task, because you alone cannot be the sole and only evaluator. You alone cannot be the Zoom master and the timer and the, TMD, Toastmaster of the day, or the introducer and so on. You alone cannot do the job. So WIITFM, okay, what is in it for me? I think I got one of the T wrongs. Okay, what is in it for me? Why should you persuade your club members to come and help you during a Speechcraft, right? They are not going to get credit as a Speechcraft coordinator, but why should they be there to join you? In both our clubs, in Summit, School of Hard Knocks, and even in years before, actually we found this very, very easy to persuade club members. We were even able to persuade very relatively new club members to spend time, okay, in the 1 or 2 days, to spend time to come and help Speechcraft, because they get to learn as well, okay? And I recall, I think it was the School of Hard Knocks event. It was supposed to be a joint. It was supposed to be 2 clubs, but in the end, only one club got the credit, because we only had 5 participants. So when we did it, we had members from the other club join us, okay, and they came in to help as a timer. They came in to help as some of the facilitators, so they helped to facilitate, because they are Toastmaster. They were able to give ideas to the participant, like their own personal experience. And they even helped to evaluate some of the Speechcrafters or Speechcraft participant speeches. And then the feedback that we got from them as a club member coming in to help out is that, wow, this is from the horse's mouth themselves. They said, this is even like they felt they learned so much more during the 2 days, because they were forced, or they had to learn how to evaluate. They had to learn how to guide someone in preparing for a particular speech. So suddenly they learn and they also do, right? So it was a lot of involvement. They gain a lot more than just passively sitting and listening, because they had to be one of the facilitator. They had to help out as an evaluator. So in the end of the Speechcraft, they felt that they had learned so much more than, say, what they were learning before this in a very short span of time. So I recommend to, encourage, to persuade. This is where you learn the art of persuasion and motivation. Get them in to help during the speechcraft. They do not do the speeches as the speechcrafters do, but they learn a lot more when they are involved during the speechcraft. Yeah. So what's in it for them? A lot. They gain to learn a lot when they come as a speechcraft facilitator or evaluator or role players, right? And another thing in coordination and execution, you have to be very clear in telling or in coordinating and informing your facilitators. Okay, this is our flow. So the agenda has to be very clear. This is what's going to happen. We will break out into a breakout room at when. This is what you do in the breakout room, and so on and so forth. So communication and what you need to do with facilitators and role players are very, very important. Maybe later on, I can just share a sample agenda. It's not in my PowerPoint, but I will share in Excel as a sample agenda. You need not follow the agenda. It's like I said, a sample agenda. But there are some details like we put there, okay, all FACI, please come back into the main room and so on and so forth. So they are like notes, okay? The agenda that goes to the participant is a very simple one. The agenda that goes to the coordinator is very detailed. It tells them what you do in the room. It tells them when you come out from the room. It tells them the timing and so on and so forth. So that's on coordination and execution. So let's go to that. Then feedback and improvement. Now, in Toastmaster, one of the things is that we have a lot of avenue for feedback. So what do you ask and what do you act? Throughout the speechcraft, whether it is 4 times, 6 times, or 8 sessions, right, 2 to 3 hours, or if it's a very compact 2 days event, okay, at every opportunity, ask for feedback from the participant, okay? Ask for feedback from the participant. How are they feeling? Is this too rushed? Is this too relaxed? Is this too complex? Because then you will know whether, okay, the agenda that you set. Okay, there's a bit of sound. Okay, the agenda that you set, right? Maybe 2 days is too cramped. Maybe it should be split over 3 days. Or maybe, it was too ambitious to have so many modules in that time span. So ask for feedback at every opportunity. And then the second thing you also want to ask is, ask for referrals. Like if they have experience, they think that this is a good module, it's something that they can bring back to their organization or to friends or people that they know, ask for referral. And then the third thing to ask and also act upon is ask for their membership. Okay, if after 2 days, they felt that this has really helped, okay, and they feel that, okay, I've learned so much, but humans normally forget everything or 50% of the thing by tomorrow, okay? After COVID, for example, I will forget probably what I said 20 minutes ago. So you must ask, if one of your main objective, okay, in my slide in the beginning, what's the main objective of doing Speechcraft, right? If one of the main objective is to get members, you must ask, do you want to join our club? So this is where in your planning stage, you have this, what if they want to join the club? What do we do? How do you, how do you price your Speechcraft in such a way that you are able to entice or admit them into your club? Not completely for free. Maybe you would want to say, okay, because you've joined our Speechcraft, we would cover, you decide, the 20 USD or the 36 USD, okay? You decide, and then, and so on and so forth. If, let's say, you are already charging them the full 90 USD, and you want to, okay, you now have an opportunity to join us at no additional cost, okay? If you have factored this in, then why not, all right? I'm just giving some suggestion, why not? Okay, so ask for membership and act. What I mean by act is, if your main purpose is to gain members, you must act to close this, all right? You must go back to that participant who feel that, okay, I've got my skills, but I think I need to practice. I think I need a platform that Toastmaster Club can provide. I need to practice. this is where you get them, because everyone is so excited after 2 days or after so many sessions, after, you know, all the Speechcraft manual, they feel like, I can be a public speaker. I can be a confident speaker. This is where you get them to come in as a member, right? Ask and act, okay? So of course, as you go through each Speechcraft, you would learn, okay, one of the things we've also learned is that in 2 days, sometimes if you are too ambitious in terms of the modules that you cover, it's too cramped. Yeah, it's too cramped. And we've actually had 1 or 2 of the Speechcraft participants say that this is too much, it's very stressful, I cannot take it, bye-bye, right? That can happen, So you need to strike that balance with the expectations of your participant and what you actually can offer. And this was covered in bits and pieces. There was an image from Joanne just now in terms of the modules. So for us, there were 2 main things we needed to make sure that we covered during the Speechcraft. The speech modules, okay? So all these skills in speech modules, meaning icebreaker, organize your speech, gestures, vocal variety, using powerful or purposeful words, those were part that we felt these are speech modules. But at the same time, we wanted to highlight that Toastmaster can give you more than just this speech module. Okay, there's a lot of analytical, there's a lot of other skills like listening, other skills like being confident to do impromptu speech. So this is where we had table topics. I think in the manual, it doesn't say table topics, but we insisted to have table topic. Actually, like for both days that we had the Speechcraft, we actually had table topics because this set us apart, okay? Impromptu speech set Toastmaster apart from other public speaking workshop. So table topics, and then even the topic on knowing your purpose. You know, we write speeches, but what's the purpose? What do you want to share? Is it to tell someone? Is it to motivate someone? Is it to influence someone? You know, so what's the purpose of the speech? It's not just prepare a speech and read it out or present it out. Okay, so there has to be a purpose to the speech. And even another skill like introducing a speaker. Some of them in their line of work, they may need to become MCs or presenters. So they learn how to find out information from the speaker. They learn how to introduce a speaker. And the other thing that sets Toastmaster apart from other learning or public speaking is evaluation and listening. So there is an opportunity to evaluate. So in part of the module in Speechcraft, the participants actually learn how to evaluate. What are the skill sets of an evaluator? What are the important areas that a person should look for when they want to evaluate somebody, right? Evaluation and listening skills. So those are the other skills that we covered. And we find that, yes, for some participants, this is too much in 2 days. But for some participants, if they truly follow, you know, they can match with the speed that the presenters are doing. At the end of 2 days, they say, wow, this is so much that I learned. And even for your members who come in to help you out to be a facilitator or an evaluator, in 2 days, they learn or they refresh all of these again. So, you know, it's something that you not only want to sell to your potential Speechcraft participant, it's also something that you want to sell and motivate to your existing member. Get them to come in to help you because you need their help. You need the manpower, right? So this is what they would learn in the 2 days that's covered. Yeah. Of course, you may not do everything. You see, you know, which ones fit your Speechcraft purpose and your organization. Yeah, and I really like this because, okay, I got this from TI, and it says here that each speech completed in Speechcraft is eligible for credit in the Toastmasters education program. So the pathways, right? So of course, speech 0, nothing, speech 1, icebreaker, right? Speeches of icebreaker and writing a speech with purpose. Speeches number 3, icebreaker, writing a speech purpose introduction. So, you know, after they've done this, they actually completed their level 1. I would ask this question again. Do you automatically allow them for level 1 completion? Or do you want to encourage them to present the speeches in the club as a member? Okay. To me, the how, why, and what, right? I would go back to that particular participant again. You know, they already know the how from the Speechcraft. They already know how to do all these speeches, right? You would want to uncover their why. Why did they join Speechcraft in the first place? Were they forced by their management to go and learn something, you know, to take up or to join a Speechcraft? Or they genuinely want to learn the art of public speaking, okay? For me personally, I feel that you should encourage this participant to do the speech at Toastmaster again. Not necessarily the same speech. It follows the essentials of the icebreaker, the writing a speech with purpose, the introduction, and so on and so forth. But you see, in the Speechcraft module, just in case you are not aware, the speakers only need to speak for 3 to 4 minutes. Very, very short, okay? 3 to 4 minutes. In our Toastmaster program or pathway itself, we speak for 4 to 6 minutes in icebreaker and 5 to 7 minutes in our regular speech. I recommend the participant to do the speeches again in pathway, because number one, if they are in Speechcraft, everything is very cramped. Okay, they learn everything very cramped in 2 days. You know, wow, fast, cepat. Okay, just prepare your speech. And when we do breakout sessions, to be honest, they only have 20 minutes to prepare a speech. Okay, they listen to the presenters, they prepare for 20 minutes, and then they deliver their speech. You want to give them the opportunity to polish their speech, to improve on the thought process in preparing a speech, and to deliver the full either 4 to 6 or 5 to 7 minutes, because you would want them to accomplish those necessary, skill set in public speaking. So yes, the credits can automatically be eligible, right? But if it's possible to encourage them to do a longer speech, to have more time to prepare for the speech, I would strongly encourage them to do so. And to be honest, the participants from the Speechcraft that we had prior, we did encourage them to do the speech again, and they did the speech again. And even some of them, they go home with ribbon almost every meeting. They will take the best speaker ribbon and so on and so forth. So they also have genuinely expressed that they have learned and polished their skills in preparing or delivering a particular speech. Yeah. So again, yes, they can be eligible for credit, but ask them, why did they join Speechcraft in the first place? Ask them, you know, what exactly do they want to accomplish, you know, through preparing the speech, and encourage them to deliver the speech at their own club. Yeah, this is my recommendation. Again, it's up to your own club, right? Okay, that's the end of my slide. Yay, I've spent 37 minutes to cover this. So I am a member of 3 clubs, and yeah, and you can connect with me through Instagram or on Facebook on Meta. I thank you all very much for your time. It's very, very engaging. I hope you have benefited from the presentation, and I'd like to hand control back to Ellen. Over to you, Ellen.